As you can probably tell, we are live from a different location in my office. So if the sound quality is not as good as it usually is, we apologize, but thanks for sticking around for the ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we are talking about episode 12 today, Make It Fashion. And my God, this was a long episode. It was like all 4.5, almost 5 hours, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened, like, it wasn't like very battle heavy, which was interesting, but it seemed like they were really trying to get their ducks in a row. The episode started with Imogen still in the library. She's kind of reeling because she just read her mom's name in this study that she found, and like half the pages of the study are missing. And Imogen, being very like sweet and innocent, immediately tells the scribe on duty that the book's been damaged, not thinking that of course they were immediately going to take the book away from her. So, you know, that's just an unfortunate bit of role playing, I think. But she was able to, I guess, maybe convince the person a little bit to tell her who had the book last, and it turns out to be the Loomis twins. So it's like, oh my God, so much stuff is revolving around the Loomis twins.
And it's like you start seeing where all the sort of threads start to converge, weaving together, which is really cool.
She also learns that the author of the study, Khadija Sumal, is originally from the city of Eos. And I think she's still there. And I mention that because when she goes and tells the others what she found, I think Fern remembers that the astronomer the twins were meeting with in the Hartmoor Hamlet is also from Eos. So it's like one more reason to top all the million other reasons that they have to like get their butts out there.
But
and
there's
like
a
investigate
party.
Further. But the ball.
I might go to the ball. I mean, don't we all?
Yes, we all do. So that's pretty much what they spend most of the episode doing, actually. The next day they wake up and go shopping for the ball. They go to a store, I think, called the Golden Veil. This very, like, extravagant, flamboyant sort of proprietor helps them find clothes for the ball. And this is a lot of fun to watch, especially Travis, because he notoriously hates shopping episodes. So Gurge just busts in there and, like, buys the first thing he sees, and then he's just, like, out. He's just going out and whittling something on the front step of this place. Which I thought was really funny. Laura was kind of funny during this part too, because you could tell that she as a character was really, or she as a player was really excited about the ball. But playing like as such a wallflower like Imogen kind of presents certain challenges. Of like not being super fashion forward and not
being interested.
Or not speaking up when what she's presented isn't something that she really wants. So, I mean, she found something. But it was just funny, like, watching her face fall and doing, like, the the sad puppy look when she couldn't find, like, the dress. I mean, we've all been there.
It's true. I mean, now I just stick to buffalo plaid.
Yeah, we're doing our pajama episode today. So, yeah, that was that. I had so much fun watching Letters, too. Getting dressed up for the ball. Everyone is so interested in Letters. And he seems so unique in this world that the proprietor of the Golden Veil actually gave him his clothes, or them, I should say, their clothes for free, on the condition that she would own the design on it, hoping that maybe more people would want to have their automatons dressed in fabulous bespoke clothing.
I mean, don't you?
I mean, naturally, if you're going to have a robot, you may as well have fashionable.
Yeah, absolutely.
After the hour or so of the episode that they spend shopping for clothes, they do some more shopping, just this time for general supplies and healing potions and stuff, on the very likely feeling that they might have to get out of town fast after the ball. They go to this really awesome shop called, was it Marwa's
Trove?
The Trove of Marwa. It's in this crazy tall ship that apparently got thrown into the city after this massive storm. I love Marwa, don't you? Doesn't she seem like the protagonist of a YA novel?
Right? Seriously.
She opened the store with her dad, who is now, I think, dead, she said, right? So she owns it herself, and she's kind of this hoarder, so lots of things are kind of trash, to be honest. But she just doesn't take any shit. And I love that. She, like, nothing surprises her. Not even creepy little Laudna really got under her skin.
Right.
But she just, like, carries herself with this air of, like, slight lonely sadness that really resonated, particularly with Laudna. She was really, really interested in being Marwa's friend. So I hope we see more of Marwa. Oh, yeah. But yeah, they scored a lot of, like, spell components from her. I think they found some healing potions, some kind of, like, ever-smoking bottle. And then there was this blood orb that Marwa thought that Laudna would probably like, but she couldn't find it. Not surprisingly, because Fernie Dearest had stolen it.
Seriously.
In, like, a fit of morality, I guess. Fern put it back on the counter before they left. So Laudna comes back the next day and is able to pick up this crazy blood orb, which I think ends up, like, giving her an advantage on some of her spell casting abilities, I think is what it does. But yeah, what else? My God, this episode was so full of stuff.
It was. It really was.
Orym and Imogen go to House Loomis again and ask Ella, the twins' mother, if they can look through her room, or their rooms, I should say. I had such high hopes for this, because, like, how great would it have been? You know, you can already tell what happened. How great would it have been if they had found the missing pages, or some clue as to what they were doing in the Hamlet? The dice were just not on their side. So they learned basically nothing, which was a little bit of a bummer. I think while they went off to do that, the others went back, I think, to the Kirk house. Do you remember?
I think so.
I don't know, maybe. I don't remember where they went. But we learned some backstory on letters. They say that they, I guess, maybe were resting when the attack happened on their old crew, which I think they called the Division. So they woke up during the attack, and they actually saw the creature that was, like, killing all of Letter's friends and companions and creator. And they just remember this, like, giant, I think, singular eye. But that's all. And Imogen thinking, well, you know, you saw it, so the memory must be there somewhere. Right. Can you think about it? I'll try to cast Detect Thoughts and see what I see. Which I really thought was a clever way of trying to uncover that mystery. And I'm not sure if Matt even left it up to a dice roll, or maybe just made the call as a DM that he wasn't ready for that thread to be pulled yet. But regardless, I guess the wounds are still a little bit too fresh, and Laura wasn't able, or Imogen, I should say, wasn't able to really discover what the deal was, or what the monster was. I actually, earlier on in the episode, this reminds me, they did, you know, Letters is always so interested with living people, or you know, soul-touched people, as they call normal creatures in Exandria. But I'm pretty sure this was Imogen who said it, but if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. She said, only living things can be polymorphed. You can't polymorph an object. So there must be something extra special about Letters.
Because, they were...
Right, because they were polymorphed into a turtle by Ira.
Right.
So, I just want to know everything about Letters.
I think that's going to be one of the big reveals of this campaign. So maybe that's why Matt is sort of just, like, holding on to it for now.
And it does seem to, like, you know, at least in my mind, kind of tie back to all the things that were happening during that last arc of Campaign 2, when they were going to those fallen cities and the frozen wastelands of the northern part of the world, and meeting other automatons who did seem to have sentience.
Yep.
Obviously, our band of miscreants know nothing about that, but as a longtime viewer, you know, it's exciting to me, at least. But
So later on, Imogen and Letters go back to the library, and once again, it's kind of a frustrating segment because the roles are still not with Laura.
This whole campaign, I really feel like she's struggled.
Yeah, I mean, she has so many dice. Maybe she can, like, put some in the freezer.
Yeah.
Just saying, Laura, you have plenty of dice.
Right.
Yeah, let's give some other ones a chance. So later on, Imogen and Letters go back to the library, but once again, the roles are just not going Laura's way. And they get like the very basics of, you know, Vox Machina and the Briarwoods, and that's all they get. And, you know, as longtime viewers, we're like, we know.
Come on, something new, please. Something new.
She does learn that it's difficult to break a pact without losing the powers that you have been granted. So when it comes to Laudna and possibly Delilah, Briarwood still being in her head, it's not really looking very good. Because, you know...
Yeah, because Laudna obviously doesn't want to lose her powers or,
right.
you know,
maybe
whatever her equivalent of dying
reanimation,
is.
Right.
It just makes me interested, like, what the nature of their pact really is, because it seems like Laudna didn't consciously agree to anything.
Right. I mean, if it's... I don't know.
So maybe there's some wiggle room there. She didn't actually agree to anything.
Maybe. Right. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Orym and Fern chat a little bit more about Ira. And Orym wants to know, you know, about her family. I mean, obviously, Ira realized that Fern was a Calloway, and this was a big deal and all of that. And Fern, as usual, is being very dodgy and not answering, you know, giving straight answers. But Orym can tell that she's kind of worried. I mean, you know, it's a big deal to be, you know, in the sights of somebody like the Nightmare King. And she definitely is. So I don't know where that's going to go. But in the meantime, Imogen dreams of the storm again.
This storm is killing me,
And again, it's not just her in her dream, but this time it's the Loomis twins. And last time when Bertrand Bell was in her dream, he had not yet died.
Right.
He was, you know, crossing over. But in this dream, the Loomis twins have been dead for a while.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just sort of leaves her with
like
more questions than anything.
Like, is it because she's looking into it now? Is it because...
they had something to do with, you know, what's missing, the missing information.
Was something using their souls until that moment? And maybe that's what she's seeing, souls being released into the storm? I don't know.
Yeah.
Too much interesting stuff.
I know. It was a very packed episode, I feel. They go back to the Crook House for some, you know, kindergarten
arts and crafts time. Like, everyone but Taliesin forgot that it was a masquerade ball, so no one bought masks.
They need to make masks. And, I mean, having made masks ourselves, just saying, we did a pretty good job.
Let me see if I can tilt the camera back to see all of our masquerade masks.
I mean, it helps when you have a master... artist in Venice, you know,
Venetian craftsman there too.
Helping you. I mean, it helps a little bit, just saying, just a little bit. And Laudna, God bless her, she wants to be besties with Marwa.
Oh, so badly.
I know, and she, you know, she just, all your stuff is trash. You know, which is probably not the way to go, but Marwa kind of takes it and, you know, in her stride. And she does buy that blood orb, which ends up being the blood well vial.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And she can use it as a focus for her spell casting.
Nice.
So it will be interesting to see what the Laudna Marwa friendship, into. Total BFF goals.
I hope so.
I know. Yeah.
Like Thelma and Louise vibes from those two.
Gonna drive off a broomstone powered ship or something.
I'm so sorry about my kids screaming in the background, if you all can hear that. My husband is going to deal with that, but she's 2, so we might just have to strap in and deal with that.
You know, we had a crazy night. We can relate to.
It's true.
To
We're all tired.
We're all a little bit tired.
Oh, but anyway, so the next day they go back to Esteros. It's like the day before the ball, I think, at this point. And Esteros does confirm, thankfully, that he was able to get invitations for everybody. But now it's time to plan this thing, because he's not interested in just going in and leaving
and
things
seeing
up
what
to
happens.
Chance and seeing what happens. No, he's got like a clear set of goals in mind. Thank God, because otherwise,
doesn't.
What? Yeah, they have no idea.
Yeah,
there's like, we're gonna go and be fancy and just have our moment in the sun.
Absolutely.
Estros is like, no, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go in as 2 groups. Some of you are going to be like my entourage, bodyguard type people, while the other half of the party is going to be a foreign, I guess, noble person and their entourage. With the entire goal that between the 2 parties, they will be able to slip the signet ring that Armand Treshy always wears off and replace it with a replica that Estros had made, which will allow Estros to track Armand. Not simple at all, and the like figuring out how they are going to actually take the ring and who's going to do it.
Ocean's 11 level of planning.
Yeah, they don't know. Long and short of it is nobody has any freaking clue.
They really don't.
They did settle on Dorian being the noble person in the second group of people, which of course makes sense. He's really the only one with any kind of like real life cred to back that up.
He is a real life.
Yeah. And he decides to use his own name, which I thought was really interesting and possibly dangerous. And I don't think the danger is lost on Dorian. He does like try to extract this promise of protection from Estros, like, please, can you make sure my family is safe?
Yeah.
And Estros, basically says I'll try, but
I mean, there's a lot he can't control.
Yeah, what can he really do?
Yeah.
This was like some of the best role playing though that I think I've seen in a long time, even from a show as great as this one. Like Robbie had this whole spiel the day before when everyone was buying their dresses and stuff, saying, just be yourself, no matter what you wear. Like it should be your heart. And so watching him take some different clothes from Estros, ball up his original outfit and like leave it on the floor was just like so heartbreaking, and it spoke like so many volumes, or so much, I think, about how much, like how uncomfortable he was in his old life, being Bronte's second son, Wyverwind, whatever that actually means. So it's like, oh, bless your heart. Oh, Dorian. So yeah, and basically the episode wrapped with them. It's the day of the ball. They're all in their carriages. They are riding off into the sunset, and who knows what's happening next.
Oh my goodness.
Finally, the long-awaited ball.
I know.
Finally.
And that's where it wraps.
And that's it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about some knitting?
Let's talk about some knitting.
So what are you working on?
Well, I revealed a couple of days ago what I had chosen for my Plies and Hellhounds beautiful dark academia yarn. It is the Benthe pullover by Natasja Hornby of Moonstruck Knits. And again, I seem to be finding these patterns with very, very new to me construction techniques. Like this one, I started in the back and I did these cables that go down the sides, and then I worked one front, then I worked the other front, and now I am just working in the round. So I joined them, at the underarm, and now I'm just going down the body until I get to where I want my ribbing to start. It is an absolutely beautiful pattern. I will put some pictures up here. The sleeves are just so intricate and have so much cabling, and they just really look very elegant and luscious. And I am loving this this pattern. I love the color. I love the pattern itself. I do need to try it on. I'm going to try it on probably pretty soon. Put all these stitches on waste yarn and try it
is that
on.
how you do it? Okay.
Yeah. Because my needles are not long enough for me to try it on. So then after I finish the body, then I will pick up here for the sleeves.
Okay.
But there is just so much pretty cabling. And the sleeves are just gorgeous, like full of cables and details and everything. So that is what I'm working on. I'm very happy with it so far, and I'm really wanting to get like a good amount of progress on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Seems like it's going well.
Very happy. How about you?
Well, I wish I could say that I had finished the Caleb's cabled hat, but I just had to put that project down. It was going well. I maybe got like this far on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so detailed and intricate, and it will be very beautiful should I ever pick it back up and finish it. It's just I'm a new knitter, so it's like a little bit of an endeavor for me to do that much cabling, and it was taking me
it's on very thin yarn.
Yes.
It's on sock weight yarn.
Yeah.
And dark yarn.
And dark, yeah.
Yeah.
And I only ever have time to knit at night when I'm already tired and like
not the best lighting.
Yeah, and like counting out and trying not to lose track of 200 little stitches.
Holy
and cable
crap.
here and cable there, and so someday I will come back to that. But for now, I decided I've been talking about doing a little capelet inspired by Jester Lavore, because I'm sure, as you guys have seen, I've been getting into cosplay.
Oh, yes.
And I'd love to do a Jester cosplay someday, but she needs a cape, obviously. So I found this really cool cape design. It's called the Gwendolyn Hooded Cape by Grace Rose Designs. And it's got this like nice little hood and like buttons with these twisted cables down the front. And I'm using this really pretty evergreen, like bulky weight yarn that I found from our local yarn store. And it's just like such a joy to do. It's, it's challenging in its own way because I've, never done a hood or this particular type of cable before. But it's also like intuitive enough to still be something that I can do at the end of a day with a cup of tea, watching TV, which is like right at my sweet spot. Like I knit to relax more than I knit to. I'm so sorry about my kid. She is okay, I swear. But you see why I need to relax.
True. I've been there. And it's also heavier yarn.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it does go by faster. I've only been working on it for a couple days at this point. And I already have a good chunk of the hood,
very nice.
So yeah, it's great. It's great. But yeah, I think that's all.
That is all
for
we
this
have
episode. Yeah,
Buffalo Plaid Day.
That's right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for this week's episode. As always, please be sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, you can, hit us up below.
Let us know.
Yeah, we love chatting with you. In the meantime, happy knitting.
Till next time.